Myself Dr. Rashmi Tyagi. I have done my doctorate from IIT Roorkee in chemistry. On the basis of his studies, modern periodic law was given. It states that the physical and chemical properties of all elements are the periodic function of their atomic numbers. You can see now that the previous scientists, they were considering atomic mass or atomic weight as the basis of periodic classification. But the present scientists, they said that atomic number is more fundamental property. Therefore, the new modern periodic law was given. So, when elements are arranged in increasing order of their atomic number, then there arise a periodicity in the properties of elements. Periodicity means that after a certain interval of time, the same property is repeated. Periodicity in the properties of elements means that characteristic properties of elements occur at definite intervals in the present form of modern periodic table. This table was given by Moseley, and this table is used even today by all the chemists. It is observed in the periodic table that the properties of elements are repeated after 2 or 8 or 18 or 32 elements in the present form of modern periodic table. Now, let us try to understand what is a periodic property, or what do you mean by periodic properties. Actually, these are the properties which appear in the periodic table at certain fixed or regular interval of time. For example, what are these properties? Atomic radii, then electronegativity, ionization potential, metallic, non-metallic character. Now, the different periodic properties, that is atomic size, atomic radii, electron affinity, electronegativity, ionization potential, metallic and non-metallic character, density, melting and boiling points, oxyacids and hydrides, and nature of oxides. These are all periodic properties, and it is quite interesting to find that these properties, they show a gradation along the groups and periods of the periodic table. Now, let us try to understand what are the reasons for periodicity of properties of elements in periods and groups. All of you can recall very well that periods are horizontal rows and groups are vertical columns. Keeping that in mind, let us try to understand periodicity in properties of elements. That means what happens to a property after a regular interval of time. Why this happens? The reason is very simple. You might be knowing about the valence electrons, and since you have done the structure of atom and the electronic configurations in previous classes, then you know very well that the electrons present in the outermost shell, it is also known as valence shell, is very important. The properties of the elements depend upon the number of electrons in the outermost orbit. If you just recall that sodium is having 1 electron in its outermost shell and magnesium is having 2 electrons in its outermost shell and aluminum is having 3 electrons in its outermost shell or valence shell. So, any other element which is having 1, 2 or 3 electrons in their outermost shells or their valence shell will show similar type of properties. Now, that is the reason that why along a group we get the similar type of properties for the elements. So, that is the reason. What is the reason? The number of electrons in the outermost shell. Due to the number of electrons in the valence shell, the property of elements increases or decreases due to gradual change in these valence shell electrons. Moseley prepared the long form of periodic table which consists of 7 periods and 18 groups. Now, let us have a look at the Moseley's periodic table or long form of the periodic table. In this periodic table, the elements are arranged in order of increasing atomic numbers in horizontal rows called periods, so that the elements having same number of valence electrons come under the same vertical columns, which are called groups. And this means that periodicity in electronic configuration, but periodicity in chemical properties also.